Hello everyone, we return with Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. And we are in Investigation Part 3 now. Day 2. A thing that we have not had to deal with so far, but hey. First time for everything. We made it back in one piece. Just. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There were so many carriages on the streets of London. You were very nearly flattened several times. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you. Oh, thank you. And now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow. Yes, let's do that. Is everything alright? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it, that's all. That I'm here in England, working as a lawyer, I mean. In the Old Bailey, no less. No, I wonder... You know, that actually raises a good point. What other courts are there here in London? We've only heard and seen the Old Bailey. Is there any other courts? The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? Should be him standing in my shoes. Should be Kazuma. It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him. Can you stop reading into my thoughts even when I'm trying to be somber? Yes, I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. I hope we get to figure out what he wanted to do. And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us. Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. Alright. Time to get to work, I would guess. We still got all the stuff from last time. I haven't presented this to her in a while. You've been wearing that ever since we arrived in Great Britain, haven't you? Well, it's what shows that I'm a lawyer, so it seems appropriate. I'm not sure that it really means much in this country, though, I'm afraid. I wouldn't say that. It might not be official, but it looks official. Often when the police stop me, I just show them this and they leave me alone. He just points to his arm and be like, respect my authority. You're stopped by the police? Often? Well, you know, I'm a suspicious foreigner dressed all in black with a sword at my side. I do think it's probably the sword that's the main reason. Listen, it's Kazuma's soul. They just don't get it. Still, it makes me happy to see you wearing it. And the armband. Yes, I made up my mind that I'll carry them always. The symbol of who I am, and the sword Karuma. Karuma. You know what, yeah, let's examine the place. Perhaps we should put this spade away somewhere. That's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. the way she peers in. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? You're so right, Naruhodo-san. We mustn't quarrel over such trifles. On reflection, then, I think I'll leave this spade where it is. Yes, I think that's for the best. We may need a shovel when we're working in the garden. Good lord. They certainly do better than Phoenix and Maya. They don't let the trivial matters get out of hand. Oh, the table's gone. Huh. There used to be a table sitting here, and also a desk over here. This is very weird. Huh. I heard that there's another room behind that door. Yes, it's my bedroom, Naruhodo-san, as you well know. Shall I help you unpack your things? That's very kind, but no thank you. Your luggage looked very heavy. Are you sure I can't help you move it? That's very kind, but really no thank you. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know. The only secret I have is the 5 yen banknote hidden on the backside of my Dharma doll. Wait, she can read my mind, oh crap. These tanks are for keeping sea creatures. They're called aquariums, and they were all the rage in London at one time, apparently. Yes. The English are so clever coming up with the idea of having ocean life on display in the home. And it means you always have an emergency midnight feast on hand, too. Renoski, you need to get your mind off of food. I'm not sure that's really the idea. That is the second time he has made that comment. I am worried about our fellow friend here. Today's trial. It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand. I know. Not only that, but then finding out that he is actually a barefaced gas thief as well. Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seems as though everyone had quite forgotten about Sosuke-san poisoning the tea. Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Shamspear than we yet know, I'm sure of it. Mr. Shamspear certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first. What's become of him, actually? I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment, sorry. Oh, which one is that? Gee, I wonder. Let me see. Ah, yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's, or Bart's as Londoners call it. We know that place, don't we? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I highly doubt that they would go out of their way to make 2 different hospital backdrops. Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital to which she was taken. Ah, yes, after Sosuke-san stabbed her in the back. Do be careful of your phrasing, Naruhodo-san. He didn't stab anyone. Perhaps we both owe Sosuke-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. I wonder if we're going to see more of Miss Green. I mean, both Shamspear and Meter Man showed up in the first game, and then they showed up, and then it took until this game for them to show up again and be actually important. But Miss Green, I mean, she got a model and everything. Like, she wasn't just a character that, like, she was drawn getting stabbed in the back, but besides that, we hadn't seen her prior. And then she just kind of, and now she's here again, so I assume she'll have some type of relevancy at some point. So we know that Sosuke-san took tea to the victim on the night in question. But as he isn't the culprit, then obviously... Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea. But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamspear's body? I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamspear's room that will help solve the mystery. Well, naturally Scotland Yard detectives have been over the place with a fine-toothed comb. But it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think. Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bar of soap. Well, if you run into Inspector Gregson, we could ask him about that. And Kazuma's wishes. Kazuma Sogi. The best friend I ever had. And a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. As a stowaway? Yes, you can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. Kazuma, would you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through that trial. That you really ought to go into law. Be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it. Believe me, I guarantee it. But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. You'll have to decide for yourself. But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world. The city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day what? Oh, no. Never mind. Naruhodo-san? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yes, he's forever in my thoughts, too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course. Yes, that's right. But... Yes? I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know. The thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. Kazuma's true intent... Oh, damn. I kind of thought that we'd be getting throwaway conversations, but we could even get an additional one here. Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions? Whoa. I mean this. Have we ever seen him hold up the sword before? His katana? I never expected to inherit the sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It's because I asked you to take it. When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. Yes. Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Really? Karuma? Oh wait, I think we've seen this scene before. That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. He's so cool. Why'd he have to die? A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. Huh. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two. Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. What did he mean by something very important that I have to do? I'd hoped that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but... as yet, I've not found a single clue. You know, I just thought of something. Has Karuma been unsheathed even once since Asogi's past? I don't know why I say this, but I don't know. It feels like it could come up later. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but I don't know. I'm just thinking of potential twists and turns. And he said that Karuma guides him and whatnot. And that I don't know. And I'm thinking maybe it'll guide Ryunosuke and it'll actually become a piece of evidence at some point. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if there's somehow more to Kazuma's death, because it's not unlike this series to go back to a past case. And we know that there's something up with him, not only because of how he said he had stuff to do in Great Britain, but also because of the end of the first game, when his name was found alongside Gregson and two other people who we had never heard of. Actually, no, I think one of them we did it here, but I forgot who. I'd have to go back and look at the recording to find out. I might do that in between recordings as a refresher. I see. And that's it. I think it's about time we get on out of here. We have a lot of places to visit. Let's just go down the list, shall we? Well, for now, at least. Might as well say hi to Iris and or Sholmes. Oh, Runo and Susie, hooray, you're back. Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Oh, one sec here. Sorry, I had a burp. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually, what is that foul smell? Aha! The Wanderers return at last! Where on earth have the pair of you been? We've been in court? Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case. That was today, was it? I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure you think you did. Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We've managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least. Really? I would have liked to see it. I now must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Is Lord Van Zykes an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruhodo. Not quite what I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes, whatever is that odor? Yeah, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed. That's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science. I don't know why, but I just think that he's, like, intensely sweating. He has intense BO or some crap. Oh, dear. Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? Oh, cool. So it looks like I don't have to examine this stuff. I'm glad. I've already examined this stuff twice in this case. Lord Barak von Zykes, yes. It's an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. I think that's how that's pronounced. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the court, sooner or later the hapless soul will vanish from the capital. But vanish how exactly? By falling under a passing carriage or drowning in the Thames. Or succumbing to a sudden fever, or quite out of the blue being set upon by a highwayman. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit. For the time being, at least. That's not overly reassuring. If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord von Zykes' own hand. As it happens, Mrs. Otto, that is quite impossible. Oh? Why? Naturally, the man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper always had a cast-iron alibi. Really? And so his reign continued, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. That is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo. I mean, just because he has an ironclad alibi doesn't necessarily mean he wasn't responsible for people's deaths. He could have hired people to do this shit and kill people. Yeah, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection. And really did end bitterly indeed. I wonder... We actually know that Van Zykes... Apparently he has some history with the Japanese of some type. I think he was like... He said something along the lines of betrayal? And... Originally, Asogi was planned to be the person that arrived here in Britain. So I'm wondering, And then we, in Asogi's place, we got thrusted into a trial day one of returning. And Von Zykes happened to be at that trial. Maybe he was not planning to fight Ryunosuke, but he was planning to fight Asogi? Maybe because Asogi said there was something he needed to do in Great Britain. What if Von Zykes is related to that and they somehow know each other? I know that seems far-fetched considering that Asogi is just a teenager, but there's clearly got to be some correlation. There's got to be something. I don't know. I'm just throwing out Hail Marys. And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again. Yeah, for the third time. Well, chronologically, this is the third time. We fought him 4 times if we include Case 5 from last game. Poor Runo, I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky. Or incredibly unlikable. I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing. Of all Japanese people. Yeah. Let's go down on this. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese as well as Mr. Sato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Zyke seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese. Indeed. It is an interesting observation. Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes? Why are you going silent? It was about 10 years ago that Baron von Zykes chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion was Japanese, hailed from the Empire of Japan. Oh shit. So it is true. No! What the... Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes. What happened? This is too early to have all this revealed. I feel like we're not going to get much from Sholmes here. I believe I've made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair. Oh, but... Yeah, this is definitely going to come up later. The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe. He's not wrong. Yeah, I am really excited to see what happens in the future. Right now we have a current case to focus on. So, what is that indescribably foul smell? Repugnant, even. Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea. Oh my. There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves and drab flavor. Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior. But if it smells so bad, wouldn't that probably distort the taste by itself? Whatever. So when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris? At the ready, Hurley. Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens? What do we got? It's turned completely black. And what a foul odor it's giving off. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling. That's very ingenious, but what do you do with that black liquid now? Oh, you dump it, you know. Why, dispose of it naturally. Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you? There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes. Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam. Sorry, I had to pause the recording 2 separate times because the dog started Dog started barking, then it stopped, and then the second I unpaused, it started barking again. Hopefully it'll calm down. Right. Also, I skipped dialogue there. Whoops. Or did I? That's why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam. Okay. I do love Ryunosuke's constant, like, pessimism. I don't know. Pessimism? I think that's the right way to say it. The right word to look for. The point is, we are entering a new era of science in the world of criminal investigations also. Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times. Emma breaks down the walls between spin-off and main series and just bursts down the door. I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Herlock-Sholmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative techniques is based. On what, you might ask? Well, it's just based. This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. Sure. What do we got? So, your T-test, is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality. Not a huge number of cases, then. Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints. Not yet accepted in our country as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there. I hadn't even heard of them until recently. Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course. Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes? There are others in that field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds. No, what I am researching is skin prints. Skin prints? A nomenclature of my own design, as is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation. Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes. As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black. Odorous and black. I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed. I assume he's saying because he's going to go to the crime scene with it. Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues. That's the spirit, Reno. See you later. Yes. Until later. No, Mr. Sholmes, we were thinking you'd come with us. You were? Yes, of course. You said so just a moment ago. You said we'd witness your forensic talents in action. Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. I am not in my proper drip yet, though. I must change. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later, in all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might. Your commitment astounds me. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival. Eagerly. Bye-bye, Reno. Bye-bye, Susie. Alright. Adios to you all. Let's go to the hospital. Well, I'll probably try to leave Shamspeare's room for last since, you know, back here. What do you suppose is happening? It sounds like some sort of disturbance. Yes, I hear angry voices. Oh, these two. Be not angry, O ample lady. Verily, thou art mistaken. Mistaken my foot. You are looking at my painting. The eye of man hath not heard. The ear of man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison that mustache villain gaveth me. Forgive me, lady. I wish you died from that poison. God of mercy, ample lady, but thou seest I have vigor still. I don't even know what voice I don't even remember the voice I used for Green because she had so little screen time back there. Behold my Shamspeare dance. Look at it. What is this dude on? This looks rather ominous, doesn't it? One victim and another, chatting. Oh god, his face creeps me the hell out sometimes. Ah, lo, 'tis the lawyer from the land whence riseth... From the land whence riseth the sun. How now? What are you doing here, Mr. Shamspeare? Mary, I do believe I am returned unto another ward. He was looking, that's what he was doing. Looking at my terrible work. Eastern fellow, so dark, you clad. How do I pronounce that? Frickin' you clad. It is... Faith, thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee. Oh, well, thank you. Even though we kind of just threw dirt in your general direction. But... Yeah, I saw that coming. That doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? A rare case of seeing this man pissed off. God. Wow, I'm surprised he was able to bend it back into shape that way. Anon, exeunt. Excelsior! I don't know. I bid you adieu. Okay, he's gone. Mr. Shamspeare might technically be the victim in this case. But there's definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. Much like the jester he is. I'm so sorry, I'm such an awful person. Miss Green, is everything alright? Oh, yes, I mean, don't worry about me. They're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now. Oh, I see. We're delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it. Does she have a slash in her bag there? What do we got? Already examined the rat. Already... maybe we can... Let's try talking to her, see if there's any dialogue. So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green? I am, thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me. Well, yes, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it? As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business. And then, completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already. What a terrible week it's been for you. Oh no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I'll look back on this fondly. Really? Anyway, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged. Oh, yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time when you're obviously busy. I half expected him to just be chilling over here, but I guess not. Alright, well, I guess that's all we need here. What do we got on the road? Nothing but good music. Which I will gladly take, mind you, but... I guess this location's just here for the sake of it. Maybe we can go say hi to Garrett? Mr. Garrett appears to be out. Oh well. I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. I don't know what reason we'd have to come here, but hey. Let's go see Soseki, assuming he's out. This game might just be leading us in a direction. Oh, never mind, he's here. Oh, Mr. Natsume is back. So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello. Here he is. The boy. I'm a cat. Meow. Nickel. Sorry? He's got his eyes closed. I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Herlock Sholmes. I don't know about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruhodo is trying to escape from reality. No escape from reality. Trying to? He already has, completely. So, what is your name, then? As yet I have no name. Then give him a name and call him Soseki. Easy. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? I am not a cat. Neko janai. It worked. He's back to the real world. Oh, what's going to become of me? No. Don't answer that. It's obvious. My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate. Mr. Natsume, no. This morning's proceedings in court prove that there's hope. Yes, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but... The Reaper is omnipresent, in court, in my lodgings. Here, there, everywhere. What's he looking straight at me for? Because we kind of are the reason he got put in jail. I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh, yes, we must. Alright. What do we got then? This morning's trial. In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? In my whole life, have I never been so moved as I was today? No! Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me more. But if I just block those out, then today, being in that courtroom was... It was the most moving experience of my life. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're too kind. Scotland Yard found the remaining tea just as we deduced, and are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of poison in it. That's a solemn sworn Soseki certainty. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Mm-hmm. Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at that time, you're both completely fine. As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspear then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim, then. Alright. And let's talk about the victim himself. Sorry. That rotten Shamspear. What have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything. Anything at all. Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. But you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the soap, of course. What else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I wouldn't have chosen to live an accursed existence in such accursed lodgings. Oh yes, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly, especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts this place. And it tries to kill me. And it's tried to kill me. Capital offender? Might I ask, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, that the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps. We can try. Alright. Do I gotta present something to him, maybe? Mr. Natsume, it's nothing much, but... it's been too long since I've been offered a present with that delightfully humble etiquette of our homeland. What? You're too kind, I accept it gladly. Sorry, but I wasn't trying to give it to you, actually. Mr. Natsume, what do you know about this? Ah, there it is! That lathery lowlife that took my neighbor's life and sent me sliding to the depths of despair. Slippery, sickly, psychotic saboteur. You've really gone off soap, haven't you? Absolutely, and I've made up my mind. The next time someone gives me soap as a present, it's... friendship finished firmly forever. I don't know that we can blame soap for everything that's happened, Mr. Natsume. Well, we got some funny dialogue from that one, but not anything too big. What are... the teacups, maybe? Okay. Nothing from this. What about this? Nope. Not getting much luck here. Crime scene photograph. Maybe your book receipt? Mr. Natsume, about this receipt. It occurs to me now that it was those confounded books that saw me arrested the first time, too. Oh yes, I suppose that's true. After I spend my precious pennies on them, that's the thanks I get. Now I don't know when I'll read them. No, not when. If! I may very well hate them too much to even open the covers. I don't know that we can blame the books for everything that's happened, Mr. Natsume. Huh. We do get some funny dialogue with him, at least. I guess that's everything for now. We'll probably have to come back here later, but for now I think that's almost everything. There's only one place we haven't visited. So let's head there, at least. Let me guess, Gregson here? There's the cups. Ah, there he is. Oh, hello again. Hello again, Inspector Gregson. Watch. Oh, what are you doing here? Well, we were hoping to have another look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes, one other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it all right. And there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. It's with the identification section at the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today. That's wonderful news. Thank you. Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing. Forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything in here. He's a nice guy at heart, even if he doesn't act like it. Man, I wonder what we should do here. I sure do wonder what we should do. Oh, soap. So it turns out that Mr. Shamspeare wasn't eating the soap at all. That's right. The mystery of why he had it on the plate whilst holding a fork in his hand is solved. Yes, to prize is the latest ice coin out of its mold. And in the process, he accidentally broke the bar of soap in two. It certainly was hard to imagine, let alone deduce. That it was. Teacup. Ah, the ill-fated teacups from which the two men drank on the ill-fated night. During their heated literary debate, yes? Who's stronger, Romeo or Juliet? Sounds like it was quite a discussion. Now I think of it, I'm sure that the two lovers in the play ended their lives with poison. Quite ironic. That's fiction, Mrs. Otto. Let's hope it stays that way. We'll talk to people last. you ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy, London's winters can be very harsh. That's true. But if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change. London's winters can be very harsh for the forgetful, too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Susato-san and I are gonna make it to spring. That's true, we don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove. I'm just gonna stop making the jokes about how she can read my mind, because at this point she does it so often. Look how dark the stain on the floor is underneath the meter there. Yes, from all the water dripping out from after the ice coins melted, as you established in court this morning. It's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it? Mr. Shamspeare must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose. It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. I know, right? What else is there to examine? Oh, we can examine this. The sun never shines in this room thanks to that depressing bricked-up window. Yet, with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can't you? That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Mrs. Otto. Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruhodo. Alright. What do you got? Are you looking for new clues, Inspector? On Lord Van Zyke's orders, yes. Don't come back till you've got someone for me, he says. Oh dear, poor you. Yeah, poor me, because we've already searched every bleeding nook and cranny in this place. I don't know what he expects, to be honest. Thank goodness for warm chips is all I can say. Well, at least he's honest. And you've also got infinite amounts of that, so that also helps. Alright. Well, there is one last person here to talk to, but I feel like that'll take a while. So we'll just let him examine that costume until next time on Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Adios, ciao, and bye-bye. Signing off until next time. Ja, mata ne.